All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about day one of the Steelers training camp process. As I did promise a video at late at night, as here it is recorded at 12:17 in the morning. So if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to the people who have subscribed already. And shout out to the future subscribers, man. Also, let's get a shout out to the season being damn near right here. Like, we are so close, man. I keep saying it, but we are so close. And also, let's get a shout out to all of the reporters and all of the media pundits and all of the fans who are actually at training camp right now providing us with this information. As you guys can see, as you guys will see by the upload time, it is 12 in the morning and I am not in Latrobe. I am not in Pittsburgh. And so I am unable to go to this, right? I am unable to be a part of it. But because of social media, because of the hard work of like some people, like I'm pretty sure Nick Farbaugh is the one who wrote this article that I'm about to talk about here. There's actually Alan Saunders, but he's another guy. Alan Saunders, Nick Farbaugh, various Twitter accounts such as like Pickensburg. There's somebody named Baku. There's somebody named Minkaberg. Well, you guys know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of Twitter accounts. And not to say that they are like the end-all be-all of stuff, but they provide people like me, people like you guys with information. And then, you know, someone like me, big middleman Isaiah, I'm going to send it out to you guys just in case you guys didn't see it. You know, it is what it is. But definitely a shout-out to these guys. And so, with all of that said, I did want to get on here and talk about kind of like the situation that happened today with George Pickens and the wide receiver coach, our wide receiver coach. And just to kind of, you know, cross some T's and dot some I's here, I don't want to only spend the time on this video talking about this because I'm sure it is going to be blown into fucking smithereens. I'm sure I'm late to the punch here once again at 12:20 in the morning. I'm sure I'm late to it. And there's a lot more things to talk about other than this. And so I'm kind of going to start with this and then make my way forward with just like some smaller things. And then, you know, tomorrow's going to be day 2 and this video will already be late. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Anyway, though, what I wanted to talk about specifically with this George Pickens thing is just the way that people act, like the way that fans act when it comes to George Pickens. And we saw it last year when he, you know, like wasn't the best run blocker. We saw it last year when he looked a little frustrated. And there comes a point where, you know, people kind of get over the whole, I don't want to say diva, but people kind of get over like the whole just not fully involved, not fully into it kind of play that, you know, George Pickens has put out, that other Steelers have put out. We look at like a Deontay Johnson last year. The similar thing happened with like him or somebody fumbling and Deontay just nowhere near trying to jump on the ball. Of course, we are a team that's coming off of like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell, he really shouldn't be included in that. But you know what I'm saying? Like just because of like those stories that happened a while ago, just because of like random player here, random player there, like it falls back on Mike Tomlin. And it's the same stories of like, oh, Mike Tomlin just can't get this team in line, and then George Pickens is never going to be fully into it. George Pickens is this, George Pickens is that. I just want everybody to just calm down, man. Can we do that? Can we calm down? Like, it is day 1 of training camp, and we like, you know, George Pickens, I don't want to say he's allowed to be frustrated because like that's not a good term to say, but like when a player wants to win so much, we got to think about it. This guy like has been on the worst offense ever, knowing damn well he is a fucking Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bugatti. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to hype him up, but like we already know how talented George Pickens is. And like when you're in a class with like a Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson is talked about so highly, and then when it comes to George Pickens, it's like, yeah, he's this nice up and coming player. Yeah, he's like this good, you know, he will be good in the right situation. And like him himself, he's probably working hard as fuck. He probably knows his ability. We've seen his ability at Georgia. And, you know, you got to hear with all these caveats, you got to hear like all these random wide receivers being ranked over him. And it probably does get frustrating. You know what I mean? And so I don't know exactly what happened here as I'm going to read the article, as once again, I wasn't there. And I don't know if any of you guys were, but I wasn't there. So I'm going to read this article and hopefully kind of get some more information about it. So it was on the second team period that was the first time the Steelers attempted a run. And both Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren were able to break off a big gain each. On a Warren run, wide receivers coach Zach Azzanni could be heard yelling Pickens' name before the end of the play. Azzanni then went right to Pickens, clearly unhappy with his effort and or execution. The two exchanged some further words. Azzanni had made it clear that he's going to coach a good bit differently than mild-mannered Friesman Jackson did last year, and Pickens has caught his ire more than once this season. That's a relationship to monitor as this training camp progresses. Now, shout out to our wide receiver coach, Zach Azzanni. I'm not going to lie, I really, you know, I'm not that in-depth with the Steelers, even though I love the Steelers. They're my favorite team. They're my personality. They're my this. They're damn near my everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with the Steelers. But as far as, like, our wide receiver coach, Zach Azzanni, I really, I'm not the most familiar with it, but I do like the coaching. Like that's what I'm saying. Like both sides are right. Like you're allowed to push George Pickens, and then George Pickens is, to me, he's allowed to push back. You know what I'm saying? He's allowed to like have his opinions, have his frustrations, and we just don't need to do. I can already see it coming. I'm probably gonna title this something, with George Pickens in it, and like it's like, oh, I'm doing the same thing. But if you actually watch the video, if you actually hear my takes, I am a bit more mild-mannered than some of our fans are, because I've talked about this before. We know what Pittsburgh Steelers fans are. Like, we got the 30 pluses, the 40 pluses, the 50 pluses, the 60 pluses, even the 70 pluses. Sometimes there's just no change in their mind. Sometimes they have their opinions about things and they just won't budge, and like that's damn near the reason why I created this channel, because I feel like there's a lot of bad, Steelers takes out there sometimes. There's a lot of like negative fans when it comes to shit like this. And it's like, we don't have to blow the whole team up because this happened. We don't have to fucking trade George Pickens today because this happened. You know what I mean? And especially too, we talked about this the whole offseason, man. Our wide receiver depth is, you know what I'm saying? And that's not to say we got some good play from our wide receivers in day one today, as we saw like a Van Jefferson touchdown. We've seen, and someone I'm going to talk about here in a second, but like Muth, who's like really stepping into that like wide receiver 2 role, even though he's a tight end. But big Arthur Smith, like we don't have exactly the depth to just get rid of George Pickens right now. And if it was that big of a problem, I know Mike Tomlin, I know Omar Khan would, do something about it, but it's not. It is just two competitive people. George Pickens is probably like he's a super competitive guy. Our wide receiver coach, the fact that he's going at him day one in training camp, this is day one, mind you, like literally, it wasn't like, okay, I'll wait till day 2, I'll wait till day 3. Like, man, you've been dogging it the last 2-3 days, man. Like, what's going on? Nah, I'm gonna get you now, bro. I'm gonna say something now. You know what I'm saying? And I fuck with that. And so, like, I like the wide receivers coach calling him out. And, maybe George Pickens, once again, I don't know exactly how it went. I haven't seen a video. If there is a video out there and I haven't seen it, let me know. I can make further opinions on it. But I just, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what happens. Like, and this is what happens in the real world. Like, I know people, they have this fantasy about football and fantasy football. Then that was crazy. They have like this fantasy about football. They go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Ohio and they see the fucking, what is it? The hologram video with, what's his name? Who's that guy? The Jets quarterback, Joe Theismann. Is it Joe Theismann? Bro, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. It's probably not Joe Theismann, but that Jets quarterback who won Joe Namath. That's what I'm thinking of. You see the hologram video. If you guys have been to the Hall of Fame, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they see that and they're just like, yeah, man, like this is football, man. And like, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like that, especially in 2024. It's not really like that. Like, people are allowed to disagree. People are allowed to have discussions. People are allowed to argue, because once again, this happens all the time. And we're just, we're not in this like little league coaching era where like you just hear it and you just shut up and take it. Because, I understand that is like a part to it. That is a part to being a coachable player, right? But and on top of that too, these guys are adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are grown men, like having a conversation, having a discussion about it, having an argument about it. Even like that's just what happens in life. You know what I'm saying? This happens in every other phase at life, man. I had an argument today at work. Like, I have plenty of arguments at work. I have plenty of disagreements at work, and like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working, and like, the people, like, we're still working together. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what happens. You move on and you move forward and you take what you can get. Now, once again, in like a football aspect and a coaching aspect, okay, the coach is supposed to be the coach, and like the players should listen to the coach, and like, nobody is disagreeing with that, right? Nobody is disagreeing with that. But we just don't need to blow it up out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? And as I mentioned, I'm probably going to, title this, thumbnail it, you know what I'm saying? But you got to actually watch the video. If you actually did watch the video, shout out to you guys. And, I'm probably going to catch some dislikes just off of it, but it is what it is. But really, like I said, like we talked about George Pickens before in this kind of aspect. Like, I think people are just mad at, like, people just don't like George Pickens at the end of the day. I think that's what it is. People just don't like George Pickens. They don't like his personality. They don't like this. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And so anytime something like this happens, it just gets blown up. Like, I'm sure, I don't want to just throw a random player. Like, I don't want to throw somebody under the bus, but like, I'm sure other people had like kind of disagreements with coaches. I'm sure, this happens all the time. But the fact that it's George Pickens, like, people got to blow it out of proportion. People got to say this. People got to say that. And I respect it. I understand the media. It is what it is. But something else too I wanted to talk about, and I don't even have anything on the screen for it, but just like off of the things I've been reading, big Pat Freiermuth, big wide receiver 2 Pat Freiermuth. This was an option that like was talked about, and once again, it was day one, but this was an option that was talked about. This was an option that was like broached, and it was kind of like the elephant in the room, especially with us getting a Arthur Smith as our offensive coordinator, and he loves tight ends, and Pat Freiermuth has been like a very clutch, very good wide receiving tight end for us. But Pat Freiermuth, man, he's damn near a wide receiver too, if you're looking at it how I am. He's been moved all over the line. He's been moved all over the place. And you know, his ability, he allows him to like be this route runner. His ability, it allows him to be like a deep threat, and maybe not a deep threat, but you know what I'm saying, a medium threat, up the middle threat. You know, like it allows him to play this way, and he has all of the ability, he has all of the tools necessary and able to fulfill that role, right? And I am someone who, I love Muth. Like I like saying Muth or whatever, but as far as like this superstar tight end, like I've seen a lot of people say like, yeah, like we have this hidden gem and this and that. I haven't seen that yet from based on his play on the field, like in the last couple of seasons. I've seen a really good player, but as far as like this hidden gem, this guy that's going to be like a superstar, like I haven't seen that. But it very well could happen, especially in an offense that's actually fucking pushing the ball, especially in an offense that's actually trying to score and get first downs. Like before, I don't know what the hell we were doing, but it was not trying to win a football game. I'll tell you that for sure. And so, you know, now in this new system, in a system with the offensive coordinator being predicated towards like, yo, we're going to use our tight ends. We're going to move our tight ends around all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like in that system, Muth has all the opportunity to shine, and I really hope he does. And he's coming up on a contract extension, and so like it would be in his best interest to have a crazy year. And then maybe get a bag from us. Maybe, you know, maybe we should sign him before he has that crazy year, because if not, he's going to get a bag from like, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or some shit like that, like 4 years, 100 million. You know what I'm saying? And like, I hope he gets as much money as he can. But just, you know, the Steeler fan in me, you know, we'd like to get that deal done now, man. You know, before shit pops off and it gets a little spooky, man, you know. But I really am excited to see how this actually goes. I know in Arizona specifically with someone like Kyle Pitts, it didn't exactly work out right. At least for Arthur Smith's sake, it didn't exactly work out. But we are not the Atlanta Falcons. Like we actually have a pulse. We actually have a defense. You know, we actually have a coach. And the coach was Arthur Smith. You know what I'm saying, man? But you guys know what I like. We actually have like a structured organization. We're not just trying shit. We're not just paying Kirk Cousins $200 million and then drafting Michael Penix number 10 overall. When in reality, you know, you could just wait it out and see. And then maybe Michael Penix is going to be this guy. But you could at least, you know, just kind of wait it out and see like what's going on with Kirk Cousins, and then be bad for another year. Just one more year of being bad, Atlanta Falcons, and not too much on the Falcons. This is a Steelers video, but it's just funny that like they couldn't just, you know, let it chill or take a quarterback in the 3rd round, maybe the 4th round with their defense. They're going to take Michael Penny. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, like I'm excited for Muth, and once again, he had a pretty big day at training camp. Someone else who had a pretty big day too, as it seems, is Justin Fields. And I don't want to necessarily get into the Russell Wilson situation, because it's probably not even a situation, but the fact that like, I don't know, he's now day to day. If you guys can see it down here, I'm kind of like peeking ahead here. Apparently he's day to day. Of course he was hurt and like he missed today's practice. That could be something, but we talked about this over and over and over again. Justin Fields, whatever your number is called, bro, it is time to step up. Like, you know, it is your team to do it. It is time to do it. And, you know, today he did it. Today, apparently, he played very well. I've seen some throws. I've seen some deep shots from Justin Fields, and he does look like a hooper, man. He does look like a baller, especially in that black and gold. He looks good, and I'm excited to see how his progression, I am excited to see him grow as a player. I'm excited to see the progression happen, because we're coming off of getting him for like a 6th that could be a 4th if he plays such and such amount of snaps. But like, bro, a 6th round pick for a quarterback like Justin Fields, to me, is, you know, that's the free skis damn near. And so if you're Justin Fields and you hear that and it's like, damn, I just got traded for a 6th round pick after, you know, playing pretty good on a shitty organization, and I got drafted, what, 4th overall or some shit like 2-3 years ago. And we talk about the Ohio State. Justin Fields was literally the number 2 quarterback overall that was going to get taken before like Zach Wilson popped up out of nowhere. And then same thing, I think, with Trey Lance. I think both of them, was that the same draft class? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm getting things wrong. But just, it was Justin Fields. And then a month before the draft, people started thinking too hard, which happens every single year. People start thinking too hard, and then Justin Fields, he falls. And then all of a sudden he goes to the Bears. And he plays relatively well, but they don't get many wins. They don't get many wins. There's some turnover problems with Justin Fields. Maybe his throws aren't necessarily the best, but you know, there's still a lot of talent there. There's still a lot of things to kind of build from there. And of course, Mike Tomlin loves him. We all love him. And he very well could be our quarterback of the future, man. He very well could be this guy that we give another contract to, and like he's our guy for the time forward. And I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited to see Russell Wilson play eventually when he's healthy. And he could be very well healthy tomorrow. He could be very well healthy in 8 hours from now when this video is irrelevant as hell. You know, like that could very well happen too. But for now, Justin Fields, man, it was your time to step up, and he stepped up today. I think he played really well based on what I've seen, like the movement in the pocket, the deep ball, the adjustments. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I think Justin Fields has a real chance to be our guy moving forward. Maybe not this season because of Russ, but seasons on, he's young as hell. He has so much physical talent. He has so much physical ability. Like he could, and we once again we damn near got him for free. Eventually we'll have to pay him, but as far as assets, we got to be a good team and get a high drafted quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if we're gonna take a quarterback, this is a random ass point, but you know, it is what it is. If we're gonna ever get a quarterback again, like if we're ever gonna draft a quarterback again, I do not want a quarterback out of the 5th overall pick, man. If we are past the 5th overall pick, don't even take the quarterback, bro. If we're going to get a quarterback, we should trade up for the #1 pick, because I do not want to do this Kenny Pickett shit again. I do not want to do this 3rd round Mason Rudolph, this 3rd round Josh Dobbs, this 3rd round Landry Jones, this Mitchell Trubisky, this that. Like, I do not want to go through these mid quarterbacks again. Like, if Russ and Justin Fields both don't work out and we don't re-sign either of them, maybe there's like a Dak Prescott out there, and like I the 17 dislikes for even like mentioning it. But Dak is a good quarterback. You guys are sleeping, but. Like maybe there's a Dak out there, maybe there's a veteran guy out there, but I would rather just whatever, bro. We've been this good team for so long. We've had every 1st round pick, we've had every pick, we've had every this, every that. What we haven't done is we haven't traded up high enough, because of course we're not going to be bad enough to actually draft him. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers, goddammit. Like, we're not going to actually be bad enough to get a quarterback like that, but we could move some assets and do it. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that to say, like, if Justin Fields and Russell Wilson don't work out, I would like to do that. But for now, Justin Fields, and he's shown really good signs so far. And especially too, like, no notice, like, bro, you're the starter today. Like, you know what I mean? And he was ready. And that's a good sign to see. It was a good sign to see that he was ready. And so, we got to see what day 2 looks like. Maybe Russ is back, maybe he's not back. We will have to see. But yeah, I think that is it. Like I said, this video is going to be late as hell and it's irrelevant anyway, but I did want to get on here and talk about it because, like, man, I've been waiting so long for this season to start. You're crazy if you think I wasn't getting a video off. So anyways, guys, shout out to the late night people. Shout out to the people with the notifications on. Once again, I promised this video, I was going to get it out. And I will get another video out tomorrow morning as we talk about more training camp storylines and more puzzle pieces get filled in for the Steelers. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to get out of here. So be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. I think I already said that. I'm horrible at outros, and I'm tired as hell. I still got so much shit before I go to bed, but it is what it is. The grind continues. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.